thing that makes Laguna different is that the hills and the ocean and the canyon are all different from anything else in Orange County, and the weather is different.
Laguna Beach's general plan is different than, for example, Newport Beach's or Dana Point's general plan, because we have a different philosophy, or a different way of living, a different way that we would like to see things built here in Laguna Beach. So our general plan is unique in that standard. In fact, most general plans are unique amongst only the jurisdictions that they serve. So.
And the locals had made up their mind that they did not want it to be a usual beach resort, which had fun zones and Ferris wheels and rides. And Laguna made up their mind that they will be very quiet and a very residential town who welcomed visitors, but the residents wanted a nice place to live. And so they're the ones who built the schools, they brought the water, they brought the fire department. It was the local residents who loved where they lived. And that really is what made it so unique. And Laguna was fortunate. There were a lot of, I would say Santa Ana, but Riverside people who were very wealthy and had a quiet attitude towards development. And they had major homes they built above the Hotel Laguna, and they really were a very influential voice for keeping Laguna at the scale. I think that's the primary foundation of why Laguna has kept its charm and has fought to keep its charm.
The Design Review Board, in basing their decision, is really utilizing the municipal code. So there's development standards in the municipal code that establish what your setbacks are and your building height limits, and there's certain actual standards that you must meet for certain types of lots. So that's fairly easy, and staff usually does most of that evaluation. But what tends to be the more subjective review of a project is the design review criteria, and there, as I mentioned, there's 16 different criteria that the Design Review Board uses. Those criteria are identified within our municipal code, but they're expanded upon within our design guidelines, and that's it.
And most people feel that if they comply with the ordinances, why do we need a Design Review Board? But the Design Review Board handles those situations that are not clear in the ordinance, so they become the subjective jury or the arbiter of those situations where it's not clear, and to maintain, so that they ensure they maintain the compatibility of what the client wants to do with the fabric of the immediate neighborhood as well as a larger surrounding neighborhood.
And there are some places near here that square footage is all that counts, because that's the value. And Laguna has been fortunate enough to say no, our charm and our scale is more important. That's what makes us different from everybody else.
The general plan is often referred to as the constitution of the local jurisdiction, because it actually sets policy for everything that we do. Everything, when you even look at public works related projects and improvements to streets and about the type of environment we want to live in here in Laguna Beach, the general plan sets that policy within those various different elements. And so that is really the umbrella to the other codes and requirements and things that we have within the community. So
in Laguna, it's more unique because of the topography, the beauty of the city, the different neighborhoods, and so the codes and ordinances are not as simple as they might be in other communities. Some of them are frustrated with the time it takes to go through a process, and then after they're almost through the process, an appeal occurs which delays it another 6 months. So when you live in a community like this, and one on the coast, it's not as simple as if you're inland, where cities like Anaheim are inviting development. They want you to develop. They'll give you, perks to entice you to develop. Here if you're ready to develop here, you got to understand what you're getting into. You got to be patient, and you have to have the financial resources to do it.
And often when people come in with projects, we're trying to help you get through a lot of these codes and requirements and guidelines to successfully get your project through to the Planning Commission Design Review Board or to Council on Appeal or what have you. So that's what our staff's working towards.
The biggest answer you will find of why you came to Laguna was it was so beautiful. That's the bottom line.